Alright, where's my cursor? There's my cursor. Yes, you guys can see my cursor. Good. So what do we want to do? Right, my inventory is full of random junk, because I think I was, like, super tired when I finished yesterday. My melons are getting close, but they're not done. Corn's done, though. Okay, so we'll grab that. Corn's done, and, the hot pepper's done. Anything else grown? The answer is no. Well, that's fine. We might as well deal with the chickens. Buck. Yeah, you know what? The grass does regrow, so we might actually have a pretty good system there for the grass. We'll have to think on, we'll have to think on getting our hands on a fourth chicken, but, maybe expanding the grassy area at some point. Honestly, I think when I get a bigger coop, I will probably expand, that situation. Okay, so let's drop some crops off. Melons are getting close, but they're not done. Yeah! I have said some dumb things over the past week, and I don't mind. So let's sell the crystal fruit. I think it's worth a lot. I'm gonna sell the frozen tears, and the gold star quartz, and the silver star quartz. We need as much, small amounts of cashola as we can get. Crop research. Demetrius wants a melon, and there's no time limit on that one. Good. A mayor's shorts, and to the bottom. Okay, well, I don't know where the mayor's shorts are. Let's drop some things off for a bit. So we'll drop the slimes off. I should actually sell all of these golden star things. Saving them seems counterproductive. Drop the bat wings off. Let's see, frozen geodes, which should go back to the other one, actually. Because they're not as rare. Okay, now one thing I'm gonna, point out, I don't know, is I've switched my workflow around, or not workflow around, I've switched my options around. So now I'm actually just listening to the game's soundtrack instead of actually listening to anything else, which I think is actually a pretty good setup. Okay, so why don't we do coal? I'm going to get one more preserves thing. So what do I need it? Wood, stone, coal. I mean, honestly, it might still be better to make a bunch of them. They're just hard to make. They're expensive. We need that coal for other things. At the same time, I would like to have several, because we've got a blueberry and a hot pepper, both of which are pretty garbage when sold individually, but when dropped off in here, I'll make some more cash. Okay, so what do we want to do? We'll drop off our wood. We need more. We don't have a whole lot of farming business to do, and I might want to drop by the beach. Yeah, so let's wait a little while until... Actually, I have no reason to wait, but let's chop down some trees. Did I find the shrine in my farm area yet? You mean the little, like, statue-y thing behind? Behind my current furnaces? Then yes? Otherwise, no. I don't know. I don't know most of the secrets in this game. I'm kind of bad at looking for them. I'm mostly just focused on process. You know, trying to make as much, like, basic money as possible. I'll mess with it later. Oops. Well, whatever. Okay, but yeah, let's restock our wood for a second here. Have I ever been kicked in the groin? Yeah, in elementary school. It hurt like hell. It was not fun. Fuck that kid. We went to the principal's office, and he wrote the entire, like... We were asked to write out what happened in, you know, as succinctly as possible, and he wrote it out like some kind of DBZ scene. I got after school detention, and he went home scot-free. That, I don't know, I hated my elementary school. Because he cut ahead in line in, we were doing, oh shoot, I can't do this one. He cut ahead in line, we were playing handball, and I told him not to, and he turns around, kicks me in the nuts, and I get detention. Beautiful! But yeah, seriously, fuck that kid. I hated him. He was not a nice guy, and I can't imagine he grew into a particularly nice adult either. But I have no way of knowing. I moved literally the next day. Dumbass school giving me detention on my last day of school. They were idiots. I don't know. I didn't have, like, the worst school experience ever, But, like, every time I think back on it, I'm like, man, there were a lot of just, like, dumb, shitty things that happened because adults can't adult well. And it always annoyed me. Okay, oops, that's the wrong thing. I don't know. I don't miss being in school. I've been enjoying my current, lifestyle way too much. I lost some stuff there. Oh well. Not the end of the world. In retrospect, I'm just gonna spend the oh, actually, no, we can stop by the spa and get some energy back. Well, all that stuff's gone. Oh well. Yeah, we'll just hang out in the, we'll just hang out in the spa before going to the cave. Because I have been meaning to clear out these trees for quite some time. Okay. There we go. So I am out of energy. Oh, that's fine. We've rebuilt our... Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do some major hoeing before we're done. But that's okay. Okay, so let's drop the hardwood off, the stone off the coal. The wood, the sap, and that. Okay, come over here. Drop off the seeds. We've still got the tomato. Yeah, I'll drop the tomato off. I think I can just sell it. Oh, god damn it, the cat's in the way. I was not thinking about that. Okay. Well, let's drop here. Tomato, mayo. Okay, and let's get out of here. So we need to go to the spa if I'm gonna do caving stuff, but that's okay. And I've got plenty of carrots. I could always eat those, but... So let's go get whatever, let's go get whatever, like, coal and whatnot. Not coal, coral. We can get... Did I get the fall crops package yet? No, because it's not fall, and I can't do that. I guess I actually don't know what the, like, visual differences between the seasons. As far as I can tell, the lighting is almost completely different. Though I assume winter is going to be a, kind of a separate deal. Are you... There we go. Lost book. The collection is expanded. How much energy do I have left? Not much. Let's try not to spend it. Though if I see earthworms, I'll probably grab it. Okay. At least we get a fair amount of coral here. I always like this as just like a slight amount of supplementary income. Okay. The other thing we could do at some point is drop the pickaxe off. Specifically for increased mining. And then we can open up the area to go get the dwarf. I've been doing a little bit of research here and there. Oh, we've got another set of worms. I should really be much more specific about digging up every set of worms I can get. Okay. Ah, top right corner tells me the season. Good to know. So I guess let's just head straight to the spa. We don't need to go by home at all. Yeah, so I'll keep my eyes out for earthworms, if there are any. But apart from that, I think it's... We'll do spa, and then we'll do caves? We won't have much time in the caves, but I don't really care. So there's a theme for this week that the stars will burn. Yeah. I don't know. I was just feeling it was nicely dramatic, and I didn't feel like switching the title around. For those of you watching on YouTube, I have this, this stream titled The Stars Will Burn, even though obviously, this is not Masters of Rhine, and the stars are very much not burning in this game. But I haven't felt like changing it yet, because Masters of Rhine, you know, has stars in it, and this game's just named Stardew Valley. I don't know, it seemed appropriate. Left one tile of worms on the beach. Oh, whoops. Oh well. Just gonna take my pompadour ass in here and we'll just get my energy back for a little while. Technically, the stars are always burning. Shh. But yes, mainly I haven't changed it yet because it fits. I don't know. I didn't really have much of a logic there apart from, why not? Now, I know this probably wouldn't happen, but it'd be really funny to come to the spa really late at night, or just stay here really late at night. Is there anything on the other side of the spring pool? I don't know. I'll probably mess around with it on a day where I'm not in a rush. I'm still trying to, like, clear out the mines and stuff. But, I probably should have checked, honestly. But, what the? Okay, for whatever the reason, the character wanted to just run to the right there. I have no idea why. Let's see. Do I have any more sucky school stories? Tons. Once I got detention for throwing a ruler 6 inches because I was in a rush to get to my next class and my math teacher insisted that I help her clean up. It was actually a really shitty damned if you do, damned if you don't ×3 situation. So, my math teacher was a bitch. She was awful. For whatever reason, she, like, super idolized Minnie Mouse. But, you know, I don't know. It was just like... It's like the kind of person that idolizes a cartoon character and, like, pretends they are, like, that cute, adorable, whatever. And, I mean, fine, she was not an unattractive woman, but she did not have the personality to match a Disney character. For sure, so it was one of those that if I didn't help her clean up, I get detention. If I did help her clean up, I'd be late for my next class and get detention. So I was like, alright, I'm just gonna go do this as fast as possible and hope to skip both. And so, you know, rushing, I threw a ruler and she's like, detention. I'm like, man, there's just no winning with you people. And that was the moment when I gave up on that class. Pretty much entirely. It was awful. I had a math teacher that was a lawyer. I've never been math lawyered before, but he would actually penalize me because I drew my 4s wrong, which actually happened in elementary school. But that's just because, you know, because that teacher was a bitch. This guy was just very particular. He was so, like, process-centric that anything else was not okay, and I guess that was kind of the case for my 2nd grade math teacher as well. But, okay, I don't want to get hit by this. So, in elementary school, I would draw my 4s with one line. You go up, diagonally down 45 degrees, and then across, and it would make a 4. But if you did it hastily, it would kind of look like a 9. If you were looking at it and you were stupid. Luckily, this lady was an idiot. She thought Harry Potter was way too mature for 2nd graders. Which, I mean, to be fair, the first chapter is a little bit on the grim side. But, God, she was a terrible teacher. And so this came back to bite me, 8 years later? Yeah, 8 years later, for 10th grade, pre-calculus, when I started getting penalized because my 4s were drawn wrong. Because he liked it the other way. That I had been, you know, that I had gotten in trouble for drawing my 4s wrong. I hated that teacher, too. I hated a lot of my teachers. Yeah, I've never been math lawyered before. It was stupid. It was just like, are you serious? On both accounts. Man. Whoa, hi! I was like a fireball shooty dude. Also, no, wait, no, that's not diamonds. Penalized in what way? Okay, so what he would do is, if you did anything wrong in your process, he would say he doesn't understand your work. Now, if you've ever had, like, a math class above, like, just basic algebra, chances are, actually, no, not even. I bet, like, most people have had math classes, no matter what age, where the teacher demanded them show work. So in this case, if he couldn't understand my work, he would mark the entire problem as wrong. And so, I didn't fail the test, but I got damn close. And, apparently when I confronted him about it, he said, yeah, I showed it to some of my, other students, and they couldn't understand what you were writing either. And I asked him, like, you know, which class? And he told me the exact person. Now I know this person. This person does not, like, never gave a shit about school. I think he had, like, an attendance rate of 25%. And so the concept of Mr. Math Lawyer asking the guy with the attendance rate of 25% to verify if I was drawing 4s correctly, it just boggled my mind that he thought it was okay. And that was the moment where I checked out of that class as well. It was awful. Got suspensions for saying shoot as a kid. Wow. That's stupid. Yeah, I never got suspended. Oh, no, I did get, suspended, actually. 4th grade. And this is one of those things that really screwed up my, like, ability to, like, deal with authority. So, as a prank, in elementary school, I stole a kid's sunglasses. Whatever. Like, I didn't even steal it. I was just like, hey, can I see them? And then I took them. And he, like, apparently didn't consent. So I had them, and he decided he was going to start punching me. And so he started punching me, and one of his friends came over and started holding my arms, so I couldn't do anything about it. So, you know, not being able to do anything because the kid holding my arms was bigger than me, I bit him. I was in 4th grade, like, whatever. Totally a kid thing to do. I'm out of time. Shit. Alright, whatever. I didn't have enough time. But, this is totally not the right kind of music for this kind of story. But yeah, so I bit him on the arm so he'd leave me alone, and, you know, stop holding my arms while I got slugged in the, you know, face and gut and whatnot. And, so, of course, this guy goes running off to the nurse, because, elementary schoolers. And, you know, fine, whatever. And so they bring me into the nurse's office with him. They've taken pictures. They're talking about expelling me to my face. As, like, a 4th grader that's beaten up, like, I had bruises on my face, and they're like, yeah, we're probably going to expel you for this. And I'm like, wow. Okay. I'm a 4th grader, and I don't really understand. What the fuck I just did wrong, but they were terrible administrators. And eventually, I guess my mother was called or whatever, and she talked them down to only giving me in-school suspension, so I couldn't go to recess or lunch for, like, a while. And so I had to dutifully sit in the principal's office eating lunch every day for, like, a week. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but there was, like, some part of me that was just, like, super angry about all of this because it didn't make any sense. And honestly, it never really made a whole lot of sense, and I was talking to my mother actually about this, God, a couple days ago. Right, because, she was, like, super sick, and we were just talking about, like, elementary school for whatever reason, because we had nothing better to do while I was, like, driving her to the doctor. And she's like, yeah, I kind of wanted to, like, go after the school for that. And I was like, you know, I kind of wish my parents had told me more of these things about them, like, actually wanting to have my back as a kid, because I felt like I was pretty much alone in that situation. It was frustrating. I hated elementary school. They did not administrate well. Yeah, zero tolerance policy is garbage. Yeah. And my school sucks. Yeah, this was in Southern California in Del Mar. But so God, this is okay, so this is super racist, and I hate to present it in this way. But my school had a, like, 40-50% population of Asian people. Now, obviously, you know, I tend not to let these things try and cloud my opinions of, like, anyone. But so the problem with this specifically, whoops, almost knocked my water bottle off the table. You know what? We'll just take it off. But so for whatever the reason, the entire school administration was very much not pro affirmative action or anything like that, but they very much would punish, you know, the white students over the Asian students because they were afraid of coming off as racist. This was in the middle of the 90s and early 2000s when, I guess, people were trying to go a little bit more affirmative action-y, but without getting too crazy about it. But so, you know, I had friends that would get detention because, you know, they made fun of an Asian student, which was silly because, you know, the Asian students actually had formed, like, small gangs and were raising hell in certain ways. It was weird. And for the most part, I avoided it just because most of my friends were Asian. I mean, you can't help it. When 50% of the population is Asian, most of your friends are going to end up being that way too. There's nothing on this beach. Okay. But so, like, they never, ever got in trouble. It was dumb. I hated it. So I had one guy, I had one friend who also got beaten up, and he got detention for, oh god, I think they actually did write him up for racial insensitivity, because, the students had claimed he had been making fun of them, and I was just like, man, I just couldn't believe it. And then I moved to North Carolina, and it was, I don't know. Why couldn't we have all just evolved as, like, gray-skinned individuals with, like, 0 defining features? That would have been really nice. Like, racial identity is cool, but I'd rather us all be, like, just super generic. Fuck genders. Let's all be, like, just mono-gendered, hermaphroditic creatures. That'd be easier, right? Okay, this is gonna suck. Speaking of hating black creatures... Actually, I'm more having trouble with the red ones right now. Okay, there we go. I don't know. It's dumb. And I'm kind of glad as an adult, I don't have to deal with this anymore. Or more per se, like... Actually, this is kind of a weird thing for, like, YouTube. I was talking to a black guy a while back. Yeah, talking to a black guy. I don't know. The only reason why this is relevant is because I was asking him, you know, what his motivations for being a Let's Player were, and, like, what is it? You know, whatever his, like, general challenges were. And he said, like, his like, friends and community thought being like, a nerdy gamer making YouTube videos was not culturally appropriate, and were, like, judging him for it. I always felt really bad about that, because he was actually a really good Let's Player. And he stopped. Thank goodness we were male and female. Yeah. I like boobies just as much as the rest of most people. I knew one gay guy that just hated the concept of boobs. It was weird. Like... I'm cool with all kinds of gender orientations, but man, you gotta love the boobs. I don't know. It's weird. I say weird things when I'm tired and playing farming stuff. I don't know. Okay. Let's just leave that slime alone. I don't feel like fighting him. I don't really have a reason to fight him. But I always felt bad about that. I don't know. It's bad when culture, like, prevents you from doing something that you want to do. Okay. The one problem is, this sword is slow, so knockback can be a bit of a problem. It's not really a big deal. But still. Okay, let's see. What other dumb high school stories do I have? Oh, man! So this one's not me. So... I mentioned earlier the elementary school teacher... Not elementary, the middle school teacher that would have given me detention if I was late. Well, she was a hard ass, nobody really liked her. I kind of liked her just because her class was at least interesting. But she was, you know, she was too particular about, you know... He was one of those middle school teachers that's like, rah-rah, it's gotta be hard as, rah-rah as hard as you can make it, because, you know, we want the students to be put in a vigorous program. Alright, fine. But, so she had this, like, severe anti-littering program. And it was, like, absolute no mercy, which is stupid. Honestly, like, any kind of zero-tolerance policy in any situation, unless it's like, okay, no, there are a number of times when, like, zero-tolerance kind of makes sense, but, like, bullying and littering and, like, several other things, it's just dumb. So my brother, I've probably talked about him. Was a teacher's pet. Most of your teachers adored you. Yeah. Hey, we got thermal boots, which aren't good. Alright, whatever. So my brother was... I'm not gonna say he was exactly a teacher's pet, but my brother is, like, way more applied, or was more applied as far as, like, school and stuff went. So he was, like, really good at school, at, everything, in relation to academics. You know, he'd study, he'd work hard, and, you know, he was... You know, all APs, did great. I think I still beat him on the SATs, which I find kind of amusing. But I was, like, your definition of, unmotivated student. As a result of these things. But, so this teacher had zero tolerance littering policy. It didn't matter who you were. If there was trash underneath your desk, you were getting, week-long detention with her. She was... this was the earth science teacher, so, you know, littering. Littering is, you know, the same as pollution. She was super hardline. It was kind of nuts. But so, she was so hardline about this that, you know, it was ridiculous. So one day, she hands out candy. She would actually hand out candy very frequently. And of course, some dillhole student threw their wrapper underneath my brother's desk. Now, my brother at this point was only starting to, like, really get his personality. I've mentioned this, like, at least a couple of times. But, like, my brother was, like, super mild-mannered. Like, you know, kind of... Okay, I'm gonna say Clark Kent versus Superman, but, like, the disparity was that substantial. Or is that substantial. But so... You know, he had a personality, but it was so very mild and so very polite and, you know, very just, like, the good kid. And he gets a week-long detention because some dillhole threw their Jolly Rancher wrapper underneath his chair. And he was distraught. In fact, I don't think I've ever actually seen my brother that angry in a long time. I've seen him that angry, like, once or twice, but it's super rare. I was always the one that would get angry between the two of us. And so the concept of him being angry, especially at, like, a teacher, was insane. And he was just, I don't know. I'd never seen him get, like, angry, especially at a teacher before. And so the concept of it all was just strange for me. Okay. We should probably eat one of these before we take too much damage. This is our last level. In fact, let's eat another one. There we go. Let's see. What other dumb high school stories or school stories do I remember? There was... Okay, so I went to middle school in 3 different states. I went to 6th grade in California, except for the last couple months, which I did in North Carolina. Which was awful because North Carolina did not know how to handle, like, transfer students. So I transferred in, and all the teachers assumed I knew what I was doing and knew how to middle school. So, like, I was required to do, like, full-on science lab reports with no prior education, which was confusing as fuck. Because I learned none of that in, you know, the previous school, and they're like, yeah, you figure it out. And I was like, really? And then they gave me, like, really bad grades and whatever. It was stupid. But, oh, shoot. Oh, hi. There we go. Let's see. What was I don't even know exactly where, like, this one's going, but, it was fascinating to see, like, the schools trying to, like, adjust for new students. And usually I was, like, pretty well adjusted, but sometimes they just did not know what to do with you. So for North Carolina, they just threw me in class. In fact, I don't think I spoke with, like, a single guidance counselor. Did I? Oh, shit. He's still alive. Or there was another one. I don't know. But I don't think I spoke with, like, a single guidance counselor to be like, so, yeah, a Jolly Rancher wrapper. Teacher was an idiot. She was dumb. Like, she was a good science teacher. Like, she definitely was, like, good at teaching. But she was bad at being a teacher. And that's, like, true of a lot of people, honestly. Crap. Fuck. There we go. Come on. Like, there were so many people that were, like, great at teaching, but they just could not teach her. Like that. Oh, fuck. It's the weird, freaky, floaty fireball face. I don't know what his deal is. I don't like him. Let's see, what other dumb school stories were there? There were lots. I guess going back to the shitty math lawyer teacher, whatever. Hey, I got the lead rod. I don't even know what that's good. Good for, admittedly. What's this? Oh! That increased my energy maximum by 34? Neat! You found a star drop. It's strange, but the taste reminds you of punching. Yes! Your maximum energy level has increased. Oh, man, that's great. Yeah, she was bad at humaning. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, I feel like a lot of teachers, didn't really, like, get a whole lot of experience with child psychology. Man, yeah, actually, that's a good point. Like, I don't know what it is about, like, teaching in different areas, but, like, you can have, like, this just insane gamut of teachers. And it doesn't matter as much in, like, college, because, fuck it, you should be professional. But, oh, my inventory's full. Well, that's great. Fuck it, we don't need the iron ore. Admittedly, the lost book is useless, but still. But like, I really feel bad for some teachers. Like, they just get the short end of the stick in some cases. In other cases, like, the teachers totally deserve, like, the hate they get. So I mentioned the teacher that was, I mentioned the teacher that, thought Harry Potter was an unacceptable reading material for second graders. Which may be true, but honestly, I don't think so. I don't know, it feels like Harry Potter is perfect for 10-year-olds. And it's weird when people say otherwise. Okay. Oh! You can just put the item on the side of the menu to throw it on the ground. Good to know. Thanks for that. College favorite teacher wasn't an official teacher. He was the county prosecutor. Best class ever. Dude! Yeah, that sounds sweet. My favorite professor in college did not give a shit about, like, anybody. Like, he was a nice guy, but he had just been through a fairly rough divorce and was still, like, more or less suffering the effects. As a result, he did not pull punches. I had him my second year, and he was just like, yeah, this is bad. This is, like, legit terrible. Fix it. And I did. And I kind of had this, like, weird Stockholm syndrome where, like, by the end of it, I was only taking his classes if I could. Because of all of my teachers, he was the only one that actually, like, gave good advice, that actually was, like, a good teacher. Because all the other ones kind of pulled punches and weren't, like, they were boring. I had one teacher that, like, was teaching an outdated style of illustration. And he became department head and made his courses mandatory. Because nobody was taking them. God, that was weird and stupid. Don't do that. If you're a teacher, don't make your classes mandatory. Just to, like, keep your, like, specific, industry focus alive. Eat a blueberry, no. Come on, there we go. There's a lot of other ones.